Hey there guys, so here lately I've been shooting a lot of videos on the Goodyear Wrangler DuraTrac and talking about what a great tire it is all these years later. And it really is a great tire. It's a great all-around tire for a lot of different situations. And in the rugged terrain or cross terrain or hybrid terrain, whatever you want to call it, category, it probably is the best all-around option out there, even though this tire's been on the market for 13 years now. But nothing's perfect, right? And this tire is no exception. And it does have an Achilles heel, which I had discovered, or I guess I should say, had confirmation of here lately. Let me explain. So, I had a set of these about 10 years ago. Back in 2012, I had a Jeep Wrangler JK. I bought a set of these tires. They were relatively new at the time. They had only been out for 2 or 3 years. So it was kind of a new tire. It was getting to be really popular. A lot of people were running them. So I decided to try a set of them. I bought a brand new set in the 33 1250 size and put on my Jeep Wrangler. Well, I found out pretty quickly that an area where they do not excel is rainy roadways. So we would get quite a bit of rain in the springtime here in Kentucky. Sometimes we get a lot of rain in the summertime. And when the rain was on the roads, those tires were just terrible. They seemed like they wanted to hydroplane really easily. They didn't have any traction in the rain. And it was really bad when it had been dry for a week or two and then it rains, because what happens is that oil that's in the asphalt seems to kind of come to the surface a little bit. Plus, you got all the grime and everything from vehicles and so forth. And then when it rains, all that mess just gets real slippery. So that makes it even worse. But, even if it had been raining for a couple of days and all that was washed off the road, just the traction that those tires had, it didn't really have much traction in the rain. Just not a very good tire. But I guess I kind of thought, well, maybe it's just because it's a big fat tire that's on this relatively small vehicle, being a Jeep Wrangler. Maybe there's just a lot of flotation there, and so it's kind of altering the characteristics of the way the Jeep drives and handles. So I guess I didn't really think a whole lot of it. I do remember mentioning it to some of the guys on the Jeep forums. How I had poor experience with the DuraTrac in rain. And some of those guys said that they had had the same experience. Well, here we are 10 years later, and I got another set of them, this time on a full-size truck, obviously. And this past week, we had a couple of days where it rained. And let me tell you, this tire is horrible in the rain. No joke, this is the worst tire I've ever had in the rain. I've never seen any other tire, whether it be a HT highway terrain or an all-terrain or a mud terrain, never seen any other tire that's as poor in the rain as this tire right here. I mean, it's just absolutely atrocious. Out here on my county road, the paved section of it, it's a 35 mile per hour speed limit, I think. Might be 25. I guess I need to check on that, huh? Point is, it's not a very fast speed that we're traveling down this road. And even still, before I got to the end of the 2 mile road, I was sliding all over the place. Okay, I went around a couple of curves where the rear end kicked out. On one curve, the whole truck started to slide a little bit. I mean, it was almost like driving in the snow. It's crazy how terrible this tire is. And then we got out on the highway, and when the lights would turn green at a traffic signal, it's hard to get going because there's just no traction there at all. So that is the Achilles heel of this tire, is rain. If you drive in an area where you get a lot of rain on the roads, this might not be the tire for you. It's really strange because in the snow, this is a good tire. If you get some deep snow, this is a really good tire. I've had good experience with it. Usually, a tire that's good in the snow is also good in the rain. It just makes sense, right? And that's usually what I see. But not with this. This is a strange tire that's really good in the snow, but really terrible in the rain. So, and the other thing about this one, this is the OE version of this tire that comes as factory equipment on the Rebel models, obviously. And so it has a very minor difference in the outer tread blocks. The ones that you purchase at the store are pinned for studs. So you can put studs in this tire for winter use. But on this OE version, there are no pins for studs. Instead, they add additional siping out here. So this OE version has even more siping than the ones that you would buy online or buy in a store. So you would think that that would help, but I don't know what it is. It's got to be the rubber compound. I mean, that's the only thing I can figure. You know, I've talked in previous videos about how I know a lot of guys who've gotten tons of miles out of these tires. I've seen some guys hit 80 or 90,000 miles out of these if they use them on a lighter vehicle like a Jeep, which is just insane, you know, tread life for a aggressive tire like this. But that must be how they're doing that. I guess the rubber compound on this tire must be really hard. You know, it's a really hard durometer rubber compound, and so you know you get good tread life. But the flip side is when it rains, not so hot. And probably on ice, this would not be a good tire unless you had the one that was studded. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that to you because now that I've had a second set of these that have been terrible in the rain, now it confirms for me that this is just not a good foul weather tire unless you're talking deep snow. But for rain or even compacted snow, I don't think I would go with this tire. And so I just wanted to update that for you. I know a lot of the times when we do these reviews, everything seems to be a glowing review. Every tire is awesome, da, 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 you know. So I just wanted to point this out. Excuse me. Got a bug in my throat. Just wanted to point this out, that this tire does have an issue. And so if you're, like I said, driving this tire in one of those environments where it's rainy all the time, or you get quite a bit of rain at least, you need to take that into consideration, because at this point I'm a little bit sketched out by these tires. You know, the first time the truck slid on me the other day kind of caught me off guard, because I've driven on all kinds of tires on this truck and all kinds of other trucks and Jeeps on these roads in the rain, never had a problem. So I'm going around there like I always do, and the truck slides on me and kind of caught me off guard. So I'm a little bit wigged out. Now I'm driving this thing like an old man, going really slow in the rain now. But yeah, keep that in mind if you're shopping tires. If you're not worried about that, this is still a great all-terrain tire for off-road use, for deep snow use, you know, construction sites, farm environments, whatever the case might be. It's a pretty rugged tire. Got big, chunky tread blocks. It'll do a great job for you. But if you're on the highway in the rain quite a bit, I think I'd shy away from this one, guys. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.